Well,
Right.
I think
Well, I mean, just moving boxes around, making it clear that they didn't really give over all the documents. And can we just talk about the fact that there was just a story about a month ago about how they found even more documents and a flash drive? They put the- Anyway, Ramesh, your reaction to what Christine said.
sure. So let's going back to the sort of the Republican rhetoric.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Republicans, including now Speaker McCarthy, jumped the gun in the way they responded to the raid in August. And what should have been said, what would have been perfectly appropriate to say was, "This is an extraordinary act, and it requires extraordinary justification." And we await, quickly getting a look at that. On the bigger question of sort of the rhetoric about the weaponization and politicization of law enforcement, I think that Republicans believe this for in large part, um, and I think there's some reason to believe in it. Sure, Garland was subjected to political hardball, and we can have different views about how that went, but that's different, I think, from the question of politicized law enforcement. And I think Republicans in particular right now are looking at the kind of harassment of peaceful pro-life protesters coupled with the lack of interest by federal investigators in violence and threats of violence against pro-life organizations and crisis pregnancy centers. And they think, well, that fits pretty well with this administration's priorities. It is part of an administration that really wants to reassure its allies it's got their back. Is this the right use of law enforcement resources? I think that that sort of thing is bound to give rise to Republican fears that law enforcement is not being even-handed.